What's up, guys? Coach Madden, official trainer, YouGoProBaseball.com, and today we've got 4 base running tips for you. And today I've got Nick Shaw from the BattersBox.co. He also does some private training in St. Pete, Florida area, and he's going to talk about a few things when it comes to base running. He played with the Brewers last year and a few years before that, and he was a guy that could swipe a few bags. All right, Nick, so can you take us through the secondary lead right now and why? Maybe tell us why it's important.
All right. I think it's one of the most underrated aspects of base running. A lot of youth baseball players don't understand what a secondary is or how to do it properly. So you take your lead, your personalized lead, whatever it is, step and a dive away from the base. Now we're reading the pitcher. As soon as he lifts his leg, shuffle, shuffle, staying low. Notice when we land, all our weight, most of our weight, is on this leg, ready to go to second. Reading the ball. If the catcher catches it in the air, now we're back hard. Backside of the base, looking for an overthrow, but mainly getting back to the base. Again, I'll go through it one more time. Get your lead, taking a secondary, reading the ball. We want this foot to land as soon as the baseball is going through the hitting zone. We don't want to get there too early when the ball's still in flight and be flat-footed. All right, we want our momentum to be going this way as the ball is going through the hitting zone. The other thing is, like I said, in a straight line. A lot of kids nowadays, if they do take a secondary, they're taking a secondary deep towards the second baseman. Now we have to correct our path and try to get back in the running lane. So make sure secondary's in line and our weight is here when the ball is going through the hitting zone.
Let me ask you this, Nick, when they do land on that front foot, are they trying to time it perfectly to where if it is a hit or a pass ball or whatever it is, that they just continue through, like where they don't actually stop? Or is it always going to be a stop and then a go? Or how does that work?
Absolutely. So again, you're reading the ball flight, okay? We land on this foot. If we see a swing and contact, we're already going this way. If we see a ball that's not going to make it to the catcher in the air and it bounces in the dirt, we can just continue on going. Because as a catcher, it's tough to block the ball, get back up, barehand it, and throw a guy out that's already moving in that direction.
And guys, base runners, you're going to be a lot quicker to steal that bag from your initial lead as opposed to your secondary lead. So now let's talk about the timing of the secondary lead off of the pitcher.
Yeah, so we're taking our lead, reading the back foot. As soon as the front foot lifts, secondary, landing when the ball's going through the hitting zone. Another thing we can do from here, if the ball's hit, we take off. If the ball's in the dirt, we take off. But say a coach notices that the middle infielders, the second and the shortstop, are putting their head down after the ball gets to the catcher. Then we use a delay steal. So we take our lead. This is when a secondary is very important. It's got to remain the same every time. Pitcher lifts his front foot, shuffle, shuffle. We continue to go. Okay? It's very important to keep the secondary the exact same when we're doing a delay steal as if we're not. Okay? We don't want to be big and tall in our secondary when we're taking a delay steal, because guess who's going to see it? The catcher and probably the middle infielders. So be the same every time and make the secondary go to good use.
That's probably one of the biggest things I see too in young players. When they do the secondary, they get so rushed because they want to make it a second base safe. So their secondary is a lot different than their delayed steal, and they really rush it because they want to get to second base, as opposed to, it's almost like you're playing poker. You want to make it look exactly the same, right? Even though it's going to be a little bit slower than if you sped it up. All right, so now what happens if you get out there and obviously before your secondary lead, the pitcher decides to pick off? How do we come back to this bag?
All right, so every base runner should know the pitcher's move. Whether you have to get a big lead when you first get on base to see the move, whatever you got to do, but you should know if they're quick, you might want to shorten up, or you know what to look for. But we're taking our lead. The pitcher has to step off with his right foot to pick us off, so that's where I'm keying in on. And we're back. We're right foot on the base, face away from the ball, that way we don't get hit in the face, and we're looking for an overthrow. As soon as we see an overthrow, we can take off.
Guys, I hope you liked this video. Go ahead and give Nick and I and Coach Gus the thumbs up if you did. I know we said it was 4 tips, that was actually 3, but if you go to thebattersbox.co, Coach Nick's got a tip for you there. He's also got an Instagram account at thebattersbox.co. I'll leave all the information below. Definitely want to go check his stuff out. Obviously, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, this YouTube channel, please take a quick second and click my logo that's going to be right over here, and then go watch my most recent video right here. It's a good one. Leave us a comment below. Coach Nick and I are going to get back to you and let us know what you're doing this season to work on your base running to get better.